Sunday Night Football features the matchup between the Eagles and the Cowboys. Not normally what we see out of these two teams as they go into this one. Right now, the Cowboys are laying 10, the total sitting at 43. Marco's got a free pick coming up in this one at the end. But I wanted to start out, Marco, by saying that, Dallas had this big opportunity on Thanksgiving. They come off a couple of wins, the nice comeback win against the Cleveland Browns. And what do? They completely fall apart. They make a slew of mistakes in the second quarter. What did Washington score? 28 points in the second quarter alone. Now, Dallas, after halftime, got it together, make this furied and crazy comeback, but still falls 7 points short, 38-31. What do you think about this one?
Well, that's been a theme song for Dallas this year, fall behind and then make the big run late. But how many times do we got to watch Philadelphia in prime time this year?
Jeez.
And how many times do I get stuck making the pick on the game?
You get one right, I guess.
Oh, wow.
Well, that would have been last Monday night when I gave out the over.
How many picks do you give out in a week?
We were talking about this game.
All right.
But last week, yeah, we gave the over in that game.
Check your nose. I think it's bleeding.
I was going to say snot was fine.
I was going to say, do I got a bat in the game? I know you like snot. There we go again.
I'm having too much fun this week.
This is a situation. Last week I liked the over because we talked about it. You had two teams on Monday Night Football that neither team was going to the playoffs. That's not the case this week. When two teams have nothing to play for, they're loose, relaxed, defenses don't play intense. We've got Dallas that's life and death to make the playoffs. They're at 5-6. They have to have this game to get to 500. Philadelphia, they're dead. Season over. They're
right.
Playing out the string. Dallas, all the mistakes that they've been making. I got to think that in this game, Jason Garrett's got to sit down and pull the reins in on Tony Romo. I mean, the guy's out of control. We saw what happened, on Thanksgiving Day, the turnovers and everything. You can't keep falling behind. And this is a team.
But they've been saying this for the last 3 years. You got to rein in Tony Romo. I mean, I don't even know if Garrett might be trying his best. I just think he's, for lack of a better word, I'll invent my own. He's unreignable. Seriously.
I can't argue with you, but this is a type of game that you should be able to just, to quote Chuck Noll, get back to basics. Just play a simple game, get in there, and get out. I mean, Philadelphia is not going to put up a lot of resistance. I'm going to be looking to the under in the game, but I'll
save your final analysis for that, for the end. But I wanted to ask Bryan about, the first matchup Dallas owned. They won by 15 points. High-scoring game, 38-23 was the final score. But, man, they're a money drainer if you back the Dallas Cowboys to your bankroll. And, here's what I look right now. You hear about Jerry Jones doesn't want to replace Jason Garrett because he likes having that control. And if he goes out and gets a real good football coach, you're usually getting a football coach who has his own game plan, and he's not going to sit there and do everything Jerry Jones tells him to do. But as far as Philadelphia is concerned, so here's you got Dallas, by the way. No sense of urgency, it seems like, ever under Garrett. But as Philadelphia, as far as they're concerned, a lot of times you hear people saying this team has mailed it in. I'm like, you can't judge off of 2 or 3 weeks. I mean, they had a bad game. They look like they weren't in it. But you can't say an NFL team mailed it in. But I'm not so sure. I think the Eagles might be one of the first teams I've seen in my lifetime that has mailed it in. The coaches look like they don't care. The players look like they don't care. It's a sad situation in Philadelphia right now.
Yeah, usually teams that mail it in like that are teams that come into the season with real high expectations, which Philadelphia did the last 2 years. The dream team. One thing we haven't talked about is the differential in preparation in this game. Is Dallas has extra time to prepare. They played Thanksgiving, while Philadelphia had to play on Monday Night Football. Now, normally you would think that would be an advantage for Dallas. With these two coaches, I'm not sure there's any coaching advantage when it comes to preparation.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I got nothing else to say about this one, Marco. I mean, it's a tough game to handicap. I certainly will stay away from the side. I might play a total in this one. This one's your free play.
Well, guys, we're going to go with the under this week. And like I said, last week we took the over regarding Philadelphia because it was a game both teams had nothing to play for. Dallas has everything to play for. Their season's on the line. If they don't get to 6-6 this week, they can forget about it. There's no more comebacks for them. So they've got to win this game. You'll see them come out fierce. And last week they got embarrassed. RG3 went all over the field on them. Now they're getting a team with a backup quarterback. Everything's going their way. The running back's out for Philadelphia, although the replacement, Brown, come in last week and played very well. But, again, that was against Carolina. I don't see that against Dallas. Dallas, where they've been getting beat, is with some secondary play, they're not going to see that. Foles isn't going to be able to stretch the defense in this game. I like this game under the total. And one thing you could say, well, why not just have the way Philadelphia's been giving up points? Aren't you worried about Dallas just running up and rolling up the score? Andy Reid is a coach that, regardless of the rivalry, he's a guy that's liked around the league. And this has been a horrible situation for Andy Reid. If Jason Garrett gets a big lead, I truly believe he's going to call off the dogs. Just get in and get out, because you don't want to embarrass Andy Reid. He's been a class act all through his career. And then given the unfortunate situation of what happened at the beginning of the season, this is probably going to be his last year in Philadelphia. I don't think Jason Garrett's going to try to embarrass Andy Reid. So I think they're going to shut it down. I don't see Philadelphia scoring enough points to send this game over the total. I'm going with the under.
Tell you what, you may be absolutely right. You probably are about not wanting to run up the score to Andy Reid. But when I'm sitting there around 500 and you're thinking about playoff implications and tiebreakers, I don't care what happened. I'm trying to score 70 if I can, because you got to cover your you-know-what in every possible way. But I agree with what you say. Jason Garrett's not that mentality. There is this love of Andy Reid around the league, as you said. But anyway, Marco's free pick. He's going to play the under, the Eagles, and the Cowboys total sitting at 43. When we come back, we got one more before we wrap up Week 13. It's the Monday night matchup between the Giants and the Redskins. Stick around.